see. We're going live. We're live. McKenna's going to give this a shot, okay? We've been doing some things. McKenna, why don't you try hitting that? Hopefully nothing breaks. It's been a process.
Welcome to the Dtalks podcast. Yeah. Welcome to the Dtalks podcast. We don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, welcome.
Hey, it's nothing to break.
Dtalks podcast. Yeah.
Big time. Talking over the whole intro, but go. Wow, look at that. We even got a little clap track in there. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dtalks podcast. I'm your host, Darren Rita. Feel free to connect with me at any of the links down below. And if you're new here and you enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing because we've got a whole lot of that going on around here. And when you like the video, leave a comment, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps us share videos, conversations like this one with more people, and it helps us get this stuff out there, and I really appreciate it when you guys do that. So thank you in advance. Now, before I can get into the episode today, we've got a lot of fun stuff we're going to be getting to, by the way. Before I can get into the episode, though, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about car insurance. These days, it seems as if we're able to do more and more from home. So while you're at home, why aren't you saving money on your car insurance? Your hometown agency, Kenosha Auto Insurance, specialized for years, literal years, in simple, hassle-free car insurance using the latest and touch-free technology to help you and your family get the best rates. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call today at 262-448-4141. That's 262-448-4141. The website's kenoshains.com. It's linked down below. It's on the screen right here. One last time, that's 262-448-4141. Give them a call. Tell them Rita Dtalks sent you. The worst that could happen is you will get the best rates. Now, all that good stuff out of the way. We do have a couple more little church announcements. One, we got to say big shout out to McKenna. She's here working behind the scenes, and she just got done working her first day of her real adult job. We congratulated her a couple weeks ago on graduating. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks ago. Now she's got the job already. How fast that worked. Look at me. I graduated a year ago. I'm still here. I'm still podcasting. McKenna, on the other hand, she's doing big things. So, McKenna, thank you for being here, aside from also having to work earlier today. I appreciate that. We're looking to replace McKenna, soft replace McKenna, but I do appreciate her being here. We don't want to overwork you. You're doing a lot. So I just want to say thank you. I'm appreciative of you being here, and everyone is proud of you. All the people of Dtalks are proud of you. She's very red in the face now. I should not have done that. Aside from that, my new project, Blue Hour, I've been posting about. I'm trying not to spam too crazy, but I am posting about it regularly, semi-regularly. Is up for pre-sale or pre-saving, if you will. You could buy it on iTunes if you want to. I put it the cheapest price that they let you sell an album. I think it's like $2.99 or something like that. So I put it the cheapest if you want to. But you don't have to. Pre-save, though, would be awesome, and you should do it. It's linked down below. You can do that. I'm really excited to share that project with you guys. Now, you probably read the title of this video. Some of you guys are probably like, oh, no, he's really going to do that. Other people maybe have no idea what the first half of the title is about, the Manosphere, what that means. Basically, this will be, I guess, more people will know about this that watched the episode last week and saw where we were kind of joking about some of the nice guys in the world that actually hate women and actually just see people as objects that they should be manipulating on a chessboard and things like that. We're going to be getting into some toxic masculinity serving podcasts, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to make some jokes. We're going to have some laughs. McKenna has not seen most of this stuff, and I know some of you guys haven't, but it's scary because I do have a lot of I wouldn't say people that I'm in the same circles as now, but people that I used to know and be around that were definitely subjected to this kind of content a lot. And as like young men, people my age and younger, this stuff like gets forced down your timelines, and it's hard to look away. For me, it's really funny sometimes, but it's kind of scary when you think about maybe the people that are actually fans of this stuff, or diehard fans, that is. So we're gonna get into some fun stuff. It's like I said, we're gonna try to keep it kind of lighthearted, not super crazy. But when you hear some of the shit, I assume if you're a fan of this show, it's probably gonna make you laugh a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna be getting into some fun stuff. And so last week, like I said, we were talking about people that don't respect women, and I imagine the guy who sent those DMs, and again, it's a highlight clip. You can go back and check that out if you haven't. I imagine the guy that sent those DMs from last week's episode. I imagine he's probably a fan of some of these figures we're gonna be bringing up. One of which is the, how would you say, this is the Fresh and Fit podcast. Pretty popular podcast, pretty big podcast. If you would call it a podcast, I guess. It's more so if I could put it nicely, like bluntly, it's a pipeline for like just toxic masculinity, dumb talking points. Let's say that. That's a terribly put sentence. I don't even know what I just said. Basically, these guys, Fresh and Fit, I don't know who's who. Neither one of them look very fresh, so I couldn't imagine which one would go by fresh. They're not like super out of shape guys, so I guess the fit is fine. But they have this podcast where, for whatever reason, they jam usually like 10 to however many women at this very small table with them. I don't know if that validates their opinion or what it is. To basically explain to them why their existence is wrong, and that why everything that they want they should not get, and everything that men deserve they should get, they're entitled to and should receive. They've had some interesting guests, one of which is Andrew Tate, who we'll get to a little bit later. He is an alpha male, as well as these guys consider themselves alphas. And when we get into some of the stuff, I do really think it's going to make you guys laugh. So for people that don't know, because I have some friends that don't know about this stuff, and I had to show them these clips. There's a specifically one clip that went extremely mega viral of one of the guys from this podcast with just like, it's a hilarious take. McKenna, would you mind pulling it up? Go to the solo react scene and pull that up. No, we're gonna go to the first video first on the document. This is the video that a lot of people that didn't know of. I kind of already known of these guys, mainly because I follow.
I think if
it's gonna lag a little bit, so you guys understand too. We've been working on the computer shit for a few weeks. We've been fighting this battle. I have gotten it to a point where we can pull up clips. We can do the sound bites. We just have to be very, very careful. It might be a little sketched out, so you could bear with me. If it's super fucking terrible, just tell me in the live, and we'll cut it out. But I wanted to have some fun today and talk some shit about these guys. So that's what we're gonna do. So McKenna, if you have that pulled up, just click it and get out. It might lag for like a second.
if you're in a serious relationship,
Yeah, she should have it. And then, so it's going to be fun. All right, Darren, I need to know, are you a mansplainer? I have learned recently that literally every man, even the kindest and most humble, seem to mansplain. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Depends on what. But, yeah, I think everybody – I don't know if it's considered mansplaining for everybody. I mean, I'm sure I do it. I know I do it. But I do think sometimes we just – for me, it's more so things I'm passionate about, whether it's usually like movie characters or things where like – and I can tell someone doesn't understand it, and then I do this terribly roundabout way of saying everything but also saying nothing about that character. So I definitely am a mansplainer as well. I can't say I am above that in any way. Okay, McKenna, hit us.
with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating, in my opinion. I think a woman having an Instagram is 100% cheating, especially if she has scantily clad photos of herself on the internet and she's not making money off it, which a lot of women tend to do. They have Instagram just for attention, you know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
And I think for women, attention is like sex for men. So, women love attention from the opposite gender, and, if you got a serious relationship with a girl and she still has a for sale sign on her neck, I think that's very disrespectful. I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl,
that's a great take right there. So that's, I believe his name is Myron from the Fresh and Fit podcast, and that is the take that I saw like mainstream people starting to talk about him. Was this idea that if you are a girl and you have a significant other, you cannot post pictures of yourself in a bikini on Instagram. Or in general, he said you can't have an Instagram. Is actually what he opened with. And that is indicative of everything else these guys say. That is like the biggest. It's their biggest soundbite probably. And a lot of time they'll do this thing where they're like, "Oh, you didn't watch the podcast, you don't get it, whatever." We'll show you some stuff in a little bit here, just a few minutes of him doubling down on that horrendous take and really trying to really trying to justify it, and he does so to some Australian radio hosts, and they're not having it quite as much. But so I guess it poses a good question, right? If you have an Instagram, are you cheating? Is having an Instagram as a woman cheating? I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. People in the chat could let me know. But yeah, it's this idea that as a man you can, because for some reason, if you have women followers, they don't want to fuck you. But if a woman is posting pictures on, has an Instagram in general, just has one, and uses it at all, that means people that follow her want to have sex with her, or that she's wanting to maybe engage in those relationships or entertain those people. It's kind of a bizarre take. It really, there's no real reason for it. I mean, what was his reason? He said, yeah, that she wants attention, and his argument is that attention for women is the same as sex for men. And so he goes on to further explain later in other videos, trying to back this claim up, that for men, it's not considered cheating until you have sex with another woman. And his reasoning is because the attention and the other shit doesn't really matter to the guy. Where on the flip side, all a woman has to do is get attention from somebody else, and that is cheating because that attention means more and or equal to the amount that sex means to the guy. Checks out. Pretty good. He definitely went to college, I think, with that equation there. So I wanted to bring that out. I had to give you guys the first clip because that is where these guys kind of became. Now I've seen now, since that video went viral about a couple months ago, there's been a ridiculous amount of people that I look up to in the space, commentary wise, talking about these guys and either joking on them or really heavily criticizing them, or some people praising them, all these things. So we're going to get to kind of some mainstream radio station in Australia actually had these guys on as a guest to kind of back up the ridiculousness of this statement. And we've got it pulled up to kind of where it gets a little bit heated. It's a 25-minute interview or 25-minute segment. I don't think they're here for the entire 25 minutes. Watch the first chunk of it. It's basically just him going round and around about the same shit for a minute. So we pulled up the spicy shit for you. Again, it might lag for 1 second at the beginning. Just bear with us. Yep.
Of a quantity.
That's correct. Yeah. I think she's spot on there.
From a male perspective or a female perspective?
So from your perspective, you say the males want quantity over quality.
Yes.
So if you're getting attention on Instagram,
Yeah, you're more likely to message them back.
You're more likely exactly to act on it.
Okay, but the thing is that women rarely message men. Like I showed you guys
joking?
before.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
it was
I showed
half. Only half.
Well,
according
that's why
to
I
your
showed you
data.
guys-
Yeah, you're still getting messaged. So let's say I'm
Here's the
getting
thing,
messaged
guys.
by. Can I just make
If you're
one
gonna ask me
point?
a
Can you just let me finish for a
If you're
sec?
going to ask a question, you should let me finish.
I just want to make one point. So if I'm on Instagram and I'm getting 40 DMs and you're getting 20 DMs, my point is that you guys are more likely to respond to the 20 DMs than we are to the 40 DMs.
Here's the thing: men and women are not the same. Men are more
Women
likely to
reply.
They want.
sorry about that. Again, sorry about that. Every time we fucking touch it, it's gonna do a little whatever. But it is really funny. Every time that he is like pressed on something to like explain it, or he's like backed into a corner, he does this thing where he goes, "Here's the thing. It's actually," and then he like takes what you just said. If this was the point that we were just talking about, this line here, and we were both, I said a ridiculous take, and now you came back at that. He goes like this. He goes, "Here's the thing," and he just goes over here, and now he's talking about something else or slightly adjacent. But he'll never. Anytime he's backed into a corner, that's kind of how it works, and it's really funny. You can keep going.
Women like attention. Men want sex. That's how it is. So when a girl's out there advertising herself, it's not the same as when a man is advertising himself, because a man's not going to get nearly the same amount of attention. And then on top of that, men of status, men that are attractive, that have money, hey, it's just exercising options. Men are going to go ahead and enact on those options if they have the ability to do so. So my thing is, a man is capable of having sex with other women while still loving his girl the same. So it's not that big a deal. But it is a big deal if your girl's out here and are fielding options. If your woman's out here fielding options, that's an issue.
Oh, sorry. So you're actually saying that in a relationship, it's okay for men to go and explore other options, but we have to be happy with you and not explore options.
Absolutely. Closed on your end, open on my end, and I think there should be honest between the two.
Why? Why would
crazy.
anyone agree to that?
You can't just go throwing that thing around and women sit at home waiting for you to come home, don't you, to smell the juice of another woman on you.
Here's the thing. Can all men get away with this? Absolutely not. A small minority of men can. But the reality is, since the beginning of time, strong, powerful men, right, that had money and status were always able to have hordes of women. Look at Hugh Hefner. Look at Dan Bilzerian. Look at kings. Look at sultans of past. This is what women.
Dan Bilzerian is a fraud. Like alleged. No, I don't even know if it's I'll say allegedly. This guy Dan Bilzerian, for I'm sure people young men my age, maybe some of our female audience, women listeners as well, have heard of Dan Bilzerian. This guy, he's the fucking roided out giant dude with the huge beard, who's always seen with like either bazookas and a bunch of naked women or women in bikinis, bunch of beautiful women around him all the time. He had I believe a couple businesses. His dad was actually like a very famous con artist and made a bunch of money and like whatever, did some fucked up shit to get that money. Dan also he had a company called Ignite that I believe he was trying. He had a mansion, and that's what it was. He had a mansion in L.A. that I believe was like, I want to say, I don't want to talk out of pocket, but it was several $1 million a month to rent, and he was renting it, and he was charging that as a business expense to his brand Ignite, which sold like, I think like fucking obviously clothing and then like fucking protein or some stupid shit, and he would claim it was marketing. So he would have all these women around him who he paid to be there. He paid these women to be, they were paid actors, actresses, or models to be around him. And he like claimed, and he would always be on like podcasts talking about like, I'm just a man's man. I'm just an alpha. You just got to be an alpha. That's the only way you can get women. That's why I can have sex with this many beautiful women in one day and all this dumbass shit. And it's like, he was literally, by his own definition of what it means to be an alpha, he is not that. He's literally paying for women to hang out with him. I'm not saying he couldn't get women. I mean, he's a ripped dude, whatever. I'm not saying he couldn't. But he's the women that are in his videos or that are around him, he's paying them. And he actually, I believe he got charged with some very serious stuff. And I don't know if he got let go of the business or kicked out of the business or whatever, but he was running it. He was basically using his brand Ignite as a personal bank account and ran the company into the ground. Allegedly. Again, I'm not trying to slander anybody, but yeah, that's you can go continue on.
Women are attracted to men.
But it is, mate, bro. I spoke to Dan Bilzerian. Yeah, I'm sick of you asking to finish your long, boring answers that are the same answer every time we ask you a question. Even Dan Bilzerian last week told me to my face, so fucking what, clown? Here you are on the show. I can turn you off as well. Just turn these clowns off. See you fellas, grow up, ring us back when you're 30 and you've got half a brain. You're not running around being led by your own dicks. Bye-bye. See you later. Turn them off. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now, these guys, I didn't mind having them on. Yes, we asked them to come on the show.
You see him do, like, the second this guy, like, actually, like, asserts himself, they both just, like, sit, like, they just, like, kind of shrink up like little babies. It's so bizarre. And it's funny. We'll get to a guy later. A couple people that I look up to in the space of commentary, YouTube and shit, have made fun of these guys, as well as Dan Bilzerian and Andrew Tate, and these people we're going to get to. And this guy, Andrew Tate, that we'll get to soon, he actually, like, he talks, like, so much alpha shit. And he was actually on Big Brother, in the UK Big Brother. And there's, like, clips of him being so nervous to talk around women from this show. And it's just, like, so bizarre that these guys can, like, just, like, put on this facade to, you know, developing or younger men, you know, young men that are, you know, nervous about things, have anxieties about women, or are, you know, just in general going through a lot, as, you know, everybody is when they're growing up, you know, especially young men that don't, you're having all these fucking emotions and hormones and shit. You have no idea what's going on. It can be a weird time. And then you find this guy who's telling you exactly what you want to hear. Like, you're not getting any pussy. And he's like, it's because fuck women. It's because these fucking women out here. None of these women are good. None of the, and they give you, and actually, the channel name is Kunkin Dastners, whatever. His name is Duncan. But he reverses his thing for his channel. He made a great point about this, where it's like, these guys are selling something, a lifestyle, talking points, a way to see the world, that it doesn't work, and it's designed to not work because they need you to keep coming back to them for advice. Where this whole alpha male thing, if you became, no alpha male by their own definition would want more alpha males out there, because it's first off, that shit is fake. The alpha male thing is fake, and this is what he was bringing up on his channel. Again, it's Kunkin Dastner. It's weird to say it out loud, but it's cool. He's a great commentary channel. He brings up that it's like these guys, they want you to go out and use this terrible advice because they know 90% of the time, sure, there'll be some people that maybe will jive with that kind of thing, but 90% of the time, nobody, no woman, no girl that's worth any time is gonna go for any of this shit, is gonna deal with anybody that's like this, and that's great for them. That is fantastic for them, because then that reaffirms the other part of what they preach, which is fuck women. And so then you're mad at women because you got rejected, you come back, and now you're just, it's a feedback loop of, oh, I got to get this advice. Okay, I got the terrible advice. I internalize it. I go try it. It doesn't work. Angry at women. Go back. I get the terrible advice. Internal, and it just repeats like that. And it's a great business model for these guys. Terribly, probably destructive for young men that fall into that algorithm. And that's kind of another fucked up thing about algorithms too, is it's probably, you know, a lot of their audience, I imagine, is younger men, and it's scary that they get kind of it's like a landslide, where they probably interacted with one positive thing these guys said, where maybe they're saying, you know, something about working hard, or something about, you know, taking care of your finances, or some shit like that, and then it just snowballs into a couple months later, you're subscribing to this way of thinking, to these guys talking this way about women, and it is it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Funny to watch though, if you're not being affected by it. I can't, you know, it is they are entertaining in a very fucked up, evil sense. Okay, I want to pull up. There's I think the next. What's the next thing on the document after the? I don't want you to pull up their greatest hits. We don't need to get into that, but it is funny. They had this video where they're responding to like some of their videos that went viral on TikTok. I'll just give you the gist of it, because we don't need to pull up the whole thing. They had this video where they're reacting to their viral moments, their recent viral moments, and how people reacted to them and got all mad. And they're mad because we're speaking truth to power. it's the silent majority, and we're the voices for that. Like the talking points we've all heard from people in that realm, and it's really funny. They just double down on all of them. Take no criticism. That is another thing about these people, and for any young man that maybe comes across this, that's maybe a fan of them, I want you to understand that no man that is or person doesn't need to be, no person that is a stand-up person or is a strong person takes zero criticism. These guys, I've never once heard these people, these two guys particularly, and the other guy we're going to get to, be like, yeah, that was a bad take. Yeah, that was wrong. Or, you know what? Actually, I think I could have said that bad. Or I've never seen them give any sort of self-reflection or think like, yeah, that maybe I should have said it this way, or maybe I did a bad job. I've never seen one bit of like, yeah, just reflection, just self-awareness of knowing like who they are in the moment that they are in that space. I don't know what I just said. But I've never seen them once look at themselves in the mirror and be like, yeah, that was fucking weird. Or even if it wasn't weird, like, what did I just say? I've never heard them think back to like, what the fuck did I just say? And again, we're going to see some more stuff from them. But do you want to pull is the next thing the Andrew Tate thing? It's his best moments? Okay, why don't you pull that up? So Andrew Tate, everybody, this guy is the king of toxic masculinity is what they say. And apparently that's like he's happy with that title. I thought it was Future. I thought that was Future. Future's he's a lot funnier. Lot funnier. And at least he's giving you like a cool beat with whatever he's saying about it. This is scary.
Little.
Okay, it's okay. Why don't you play it? Yeah, or did I have a skip to anything on it? I thought I had a note on one of them, or was that on the other one? Okay, then you just play it. I wanna go through this. Some of it.
Electric, my little plug. Ooh, let me get my little plug and plug it into my Tesla. Maybe I can get an erection one day. Is this the man you are?
Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Most things the left try and present, you have to keep things realistic.
Is it lagging really bad? Okay. Sorry again, I apologize for the lag, guys. I'm trying to fix the computer. We've been working on it. We're at a point now where we can pull up the videos. It's still being a little touchy. So this guy, do you have an idea of what he's like off those first couple clips? You got an idea, right? A general grasp of who he is. What do I have next on the document? Because there was something specifically I wanted to explain with this guy. That's not what it. No, yeah, I think it was in this video. So this guy is famous for I don't know what you could say. I mean, he apparently is a motivational, do-it-yourself guy. That's what he's trying to be. He regularly though. What's going on, Mom? What you got? Oh, okay. She's trying to move stuff from the studio. Okay, it is what it is. He regularly just bashes women, and that it's somehow their fault. And that's the thing. That's the dichotomy with this, or the dilemma, I should say, with this kind of influencer is that they just repeatedly say that so many women want them, and everyone wants to be their friend. Everyone wants to fuck them. Everyone wants to be like them, but simultaneously hate women because women don't want good men. It just doesn't make sense. It don't add up. It don't. There's a disconnect somewhere, right? Dude, your mic audio is the lowest I've ever heard. Is it? Can you hear it or no? Okay. Well, Commander Junior, what's going on? Can you not hear me? Everyone else seems to hear me. Hi, Darren. What's up, Steve? How are you? He just says hi. What's up, dog? Yeah, it might be quieter while the video's gone. Maybe that's what he means. But yeah, let's react to a couple more things from Andrew Tate, and then we're gonna get to the really funny thing with him. Yeah, just you can let a little bit more of that go.
No. Years ago, natural selection and evolution would have taken care of all your fucking retard ancestors, but yet here you are standing in my face saying you don't eat gluten. Yes, you fucking do. Only a cat-owning bitch would complain to the police about a fucking joke. Fine, you're upset you lost your cat. Fair enough, yeah, the joke may have been a little bit, risque. Who calls the police on a fucking joke? Cat owners. Cat owners are liberals. Cat owners believe in hate speech. Cat owners are Democrats. Cat owners are dickheads.
I have a cat.
I look like a bitch. No, I'm not like these fucking mask wearers. No, I walk into hell and the devil's like, oh, I'm gonna burn you. So you ain't gonna do shit. I find myself super funny. I find myself super funny. Imagine I'm in my fucking 6-liter V12 Aston Martin Vanquish. Gets about 10 miles to the gallon max. I'm sitting there. I'm chilling. There's a traffic jam. No big deal. Whatever. Big Daddy Tate, I can handle it. Someone goes, there's a climate change activist and they blocked the road. What? There's climate change activism, Extinction Rebellion. Yeah, I'll show you an extinction. You're
You
fat.
turn me up for Commander Junior. He says it's low. You can turn me up just a little. Okay. Well, we turned it up for him. So there you go. My hair's getting stuck in the mic. So you guys get the idea. If you didn't know who Andrew Tate was, now you do. You know what he looks like. You know what he sounds like. You know the fantastic takes. And it's funny he actually mentioned the police in one of those clips, because this guy who women are throwing themselves at, that women are obsessing over, and that he just can't seem to keep them off of him, right? He's such an alpha, such a prize to be won. He got himself in some trouble recently. A little bit of trouble here, and I will need you to flip the screen for this one, McKenna. You want to go to our little document and pull up the Daily Beast, the arrested clip. It's not a clip, it's an article. And I'm going to have you flip that around. So we'll read a little bit of that for everybody today. So you guys have met Andrew Tate now. You understand. And I need you guys to understand, too, that there are hundreds of fan pages reposting this guy's content, like, every day. But here, this is pretty recent, I believe, as well. April 27th, police raid MAGA king of toxic masculinities. Toxic king of masculinity in human trafficking investigation. So, I mean, dude, here's the thing. I've never done stand-up, and I would not consider myself a comedian. I mean, we like to make some jokes on this podcast, but I do think there's the jokes got to write themselves when it comes to that. I mean, the guy who women apparently he can't go anywhere because women want him so much is literally trying to steal women and fucking human trafficking is not funny. But there's a joke there somewhere. I don't know where it is. Okay, so you scroll down a little bit. Can you make it a little bit bigger, because I am sitting kind of far from the monitor? Just a tiny bit, if you can. I mean, if not, it's fine. Okay, she's tweaking it. She's exhaling deeply at me. That is a rough, bad look indeed. Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. Yeah, Romanian police raided the home of prominent pro-Trump. I didn't know. That's the thing, too. Until this article, I didn't really. I mean, I could have guessed, but I didn't know if he advertised himself as like a pro-Trump guy. Obviously, I would have probably guessed that, but he doesn't say that usually. He just usually hates people that probably wouldn't normally vote for Trump. Online personality Andrew Tate this month, as part of a human trafficking investigation, bringing new attention to Tate's ties to leading figures in the American MAGA movement. Okay, and then we've got an ad for the Golden State Warriors. Why don't we scroll past that? Okay, so before the April 11th raid, he was best known as a kickboxer. Yeah, he's not best known as a kickboxer. I did know he did that, as he had like a short stint as one, but I didn't also know he was a vocal Trump supporter, so that's interesting. He portrayed himself as a wealthy, cigar-smoking playboy, prompting one admirer to dub him the king of toxic masculinity. And again, I don't know who says that about him, because I believe it's Future. And I don't know. I believe it's Future. That's actually our king of that. But Tate's treatment of women did have an ugly side. Apparently, in 2016, he was booted off the British version of Big Brother over a video of him hitting a woman with a belt. At least he is actually doing what he's saying he's doing. I mean, that's fucking terrible. I mean, you know, maybe it was some foreplay type thing. Let's give him the benefit of that. We'll keep going. Tate's unsavory activities didn't stop him from building links with the stars of the Trumpian right. In 2019, he pulled around Washington, D.C. with prominent online Trump activists and conspiracy theorists. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good look. I didn't know he was this politically affiliated. I thought it was more so. I want to get to the investigation. You want to scroll down a little bit more? Okay, we don't need the Trump stuff. I'm just trying to get to the video show. Okay, on Tuesday, April 27th, a spokesperson from the Romanian police agency added that no one has been charged or arrested yet in the case, but the investigation is ongoing. Video from the raid showed police officers armed with rifles milling among Tate's sports cars with a neon Tate logo on the wall in the background. Another video showed Tate and his brother being shoved into vans by police officers before being driven away from their homes. Where was I believe there was a reason, because I believe there was a girl that was being held captive. That's what I had heard. If you want to scroll down a little bit more. We are aware of reports of a U.S. citizen being held against their will here in Romania. Due to the privacy considerations, we have no further comment. That's a tough look for our boy Andrew here. You know, again, this is alleged. They're being very careful about not saying that he has done this, because I'm sure he has money here involved to address the raid in Instagram page featuring him smoking a cigar in a state interrogation room as faux police officers loomed over him and the camera officers. I think we can all agree that bitches love to lie. Yeah, I did see that Instagram. You scroll down as the post there. It's not. So yeah, he did have an Instagram post saying that, okay, what are we advertising for, Pornhub? You can get that out. Yeah, we can. That's the rest. That's the end of the article. You can close that. I did see that he planned. So after he was released, he went to some fucking, I don't know, some like industrial building and put a fucking fold table up and had two of his homies or whatever look like police officers so he could pose for a picture and pretend that it was the actual interrogation room. And some of his followers were reading it up. I was reading some of the comments out, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, it is. It's mad wild. It's mad wild to be spitting the game that these guys are spitting, and then to also be, you know, buying and selling people under the table. That's kind of crazy. Just thought that was interesting. Audio's cutting in and out. Yeah, is it cutting in and out right now as I'm speaking, or is it cutting out during the video? Because I know it was cutting out during the. It usually cuts out a little bit during the video. It is right now. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, Steve. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going through a lot right now. Going through a lot trying to fix all this, so I appreciate it. Now, I do have a question and it's something that I've kind of thought is interesting about this, because I didn't want this to just be like, oh, let's point and laugh at these people. You know, look at these cringe dudes. We'll show the video. I'll be like, look at how dumb they are. And then everyone pats me on the back because, wow, Darren, you're so smart. These guys are so dumb. You know, that's kind of lazy, even though, I mean, we've done that to an extent here today, but that'd be kind of lazy. What I'm more concerned about and what I'm interested in maybe talking about is, do you guys think that these people believe this stuff? This guy, Andrew Tate, maybe. I mean, he was actually out here with the belt doing his thing. So he practices what he preaches. These other guys, the fresh and fit dude, I don't know. Because neither one of them, and we didn't get to, I had another compilation of them, but I don't want to get to it, especially with the computer being all weird, where it's so bizarre because, again, Fresh and Fit is such a funny name because they literally jam like 20 fucking people into a corner of this, whatever room this podcast is held in, all around this little tiny table, and it definitely does not look like it smells fresh in there. I mean, there's a lot of sweaty men and women in this one room, and it'll just be them just talking mad shit about women, and I don't think, or about themselves and how alpha they are, and I really don't think that if it, I don't want to speak on what, what action they're getting or what they're not getting, but I do think it's hard for me to believe that they're getting the kind of plays that they're pretending that they're getting, especially speaking the way they're speaking, their physical appearances as they are. And the other guy, not the main guy, Myron, who was speaking in all those videos, the other dude does not speak. He doesn't talk. He just sits there. And apparently he's like he's a co-owner of the podcast and considered co-host. But he does not speak. I mean, I'm sure he has in the history of the podcast, but I follow the H3 podcast pretty regularly, and they've like had back and forths with these guys, and I've not seen, even in their response videos to Ethan and the H3 podcast, I've not seen the other guy speak. It's so funny. He just sits there, it's like, yeah, and it's bizarre. It's a weird vibe, and it maybe I gotta tune in and watch a couple full episodes because it is funny. It is really funny. Maybe I gotta get on there. Yeah, audio's cutting in and out during the vid. Steve says, yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's what we're kind of dealing with right now. But I'm curious though, do you guys think they believe it? Do you think they believe it? Because there's like people that, like political figures, like talks, talking heads for, CNN, Fox News, stuff like that. That people like that don't believe what they're saying, but they do it for the paycheck. And there's always been people like that in the history of that shit going on, where they put on a character when they get in front of it and they talk to you as an American at home, and whatever side you're leaning, they pretend to be that side, and they're probably not. I mean, that was huge with who was it? I think it was the guy who passed away recently, Rush Limbaugh, like admitted that he like didn't believe anything he ever said, and like that's scary, But people that's what people do. So I'm curious if these guys really genuinely believe it. I did see them get schooled by Brittany Renner. That's a hilarious clip. I'm sure people that watch the show, you guys have probably seen it if you're on the internet a lot. They got murdered by her, and she's not I'm not saying she is a beacon of professionalism either, but it was a funny thing watching them debate with her. But I guess too, so aside from that, that's a question I'll pose. People can let me know in the comments. Obviously, there's no one here for me to openly discuss that with. I don't know. I think at first maybe these guys maybe didn't believe, like I guess the hopeful optimist in me thinks that maybe these guys didn't believe this shit at the beginning. Like they just were saying what they needed to say to get some clicks. And when they realized how powerful it was, and maybe the power that went to their head, and after you keep repeating these things, the way propaganda works, I just think maybe they did start to believe it. And again, I do think I've heard from people, and I've seen a couple clips where guys like, I don't want to even, and maybe not Andrew Tate, but I've heard, guys like Fresh and Fit have given some positive advice for young men. I'm sure that that's true. I'm sure that they've said something. I hope so. They have a fucking podcast. They talk for hours. I hope they've said a couple redeeming things. But to me, that only makes it like scarier, like that, because that means, they're almost normalizing the other crazy shit, because it's like, well, look, he said 3 things that were logical. He just said the one, only the 4th statement was super misogynistic and fucked up. I can compartmentalize that until you continually become, you gradually more and more interested in these 2 figures, or, whatever ensemble they have of women that week, to a point where now all of a sudden you're kind of you're blending those terrible takes with their maybe okay borderline self-help stuff. And you start of get this misconstrued perception of how you should look at women. And I think it's interesting, and it's a little troubling for sure. And I guess the thing that I'm kind of interested about is like, how do you slow down sort of the negative aspects of platforms like that, or podcasts or figures like that? How do you stop them from basically indoctrinating young men to think in such a incel-y way Like, there's not, because the thing is, I think young men that are going through something, and again, we talked about this a little bit last week. It's an experience that can be really hard, and they probably feel lonely, and they have all these other emotions going on, and then you have this guy you don't understand a lot when you're growing up. And I mean, you look at me, I don't fucking get it. I don't know anything. I don't understand shit. I got a degree. I don't know, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But so like young men, they don't, there's so many unanswered questions. You have so many things that you're nervous about, you're worried about. And then you have guys like this come along, and they tell you a couple of things that you kind of already wanted to hear, or maybe a couple of things that were good advice, and then they just layer that and just like slide in a bunch of fucking misogyny underneath, put also some abusive tendencies, some toxicity, and you got yourself, a fan of these shows, like a diehard fan. And I think that is scary for what it could do to young men. I don't know. That's just kind of how I think about it. And I'm curious as to like how we can actually do something about it, because I know myself, obviously I'm talking about it today. I made some jokes. Now I'm talking about it a little bit more seriously, whatever. And the larger commentary side of YouTube, that community, has gone in on these guys and just ripped them apart. And people that are way smarter than me, way more articulate than me, have gone at these people. And as awesome as that is, and as valid as those criticisms are, sometimes I wonder if it's even, if it even matters, if we're not doing anything. Maybe we're just making them bigger than they actually are. And I don't know. I wonder that. I mean, we can do what we want over here. It's just me and you. It's just us. This ain't the Joe Rogan podcast. And not that I don't even think he knows who these people are. But, it's not these other larger platforms, people making fun of them or whatever. I just think, I don't know that if it really, really would stop, like we'll stop it. And then if nothing will stop it, or if there is something that we can do to stop it, we should do that. But if nothing could stop it, then I guess we might as well get the jokes off, right? I don't know. I've been going back and forth on it all day. But I needed to get my jokes off. So maybe I'm part of the problem. But yeah, I guess, what else can we do? What else can we do to paint a different picture? Now, moving on from that, I do want to get to this last thing. It is not going to take up a ton of our time, but it is kind of interesting and kind of sad. The Kenobi series, I was talking about it last week. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm a nerd. I love nerd shit. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't care who you are. I will murder you in Star Wars Trivia Pursuit. I will destroy you. No chance. No fucking chance. One of my friends had it. We would go to war. We'd go to war every fucking time we bring that game out. Yeah, I will end you. Love Star Wars. That being said, there's been a lot. Don't spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything, Steve. Don't worry. This has nothing to do with the actual show, which is the sad part. So I was talking about how excited I was for the show, right? And how it was so cool. We got, as like nerds, we got all this cool shit. We got all these Marvel movies that are coming out, all these shows. The Boys is on Amazon Prime right now. It's fucking amazing. And we get, on top of that, we get Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan. Hayden Christensen coming back to play Darth Vader. It's fucking, like, I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters with my dad for Father's Day. It was the best. It was in like second. What is that? A horrible Father's Day movie? It's a great movie. All the posters had Darth Vader on it, and it was like, I'm your father, like, for Father's Day. Like, it makes sense. It's great marketing. And yeah, so it was like, for me, like, even just the idea of them bringing them back. I was like, man, this is so exciting, because that's like my favorite Star Wars movie. I'm going to see those guys. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you, Steve. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. I think it's really cool so far. Obviously, there are some things I'm like, what's going on? But it's a 6-hour movie, or 7-hour. I don't know how many episodes it is. We're halfway through, so it's 6 episodes. We're 3 episodes in. It's a 6-hour movie, and people, before the first episode, like as the first episode was airing, were just saying the most like crazy, vile, racist shit to one of the stars of the show, Moses Ingram. who plays again, and this isn't spoiling anything really because she's been in the trailers and done interviews and everything. She plays one of the Inquisitors, the third sister, and she is a black woman, and she's playing a villain character who is, you know, a little brash and, you know, abrasive, and people took to her DMs, I guess, and other social media to say a bunch of really fucked up shit. And surprisingly, actually, both Disney and Moses and others kind of spoke out about it. And so I wanted to just kind of pull up her video just to explaining what happened. So we're not spoiling anything. Sorry, I just saw those messages. Yeah, we're not going to spoil anything. Don't worry. Yeah, it might not. Maybe we don't need to pull it up. You got it or no? She's pulling it up, guys. Don't worry. I think. If it's gonna be a problem, we don't have to do it. Okay. It's good to play or it's good to not play? Okay, we're gonna give it a try. This is what Moses had to say about the situation. I don't think so, no.
Long story short, there are hundreds of those. Hundreds. And I also see those of you out there who put on a cape for me, and that really does mean the world to me because, you know, there's nothing anybody can do about this. There's nothing anybody can do to stop this hate. And so I question what my purpose is, and even being here in front of you saying that this is happening.
That's sad. Really.
I don't really know. But I think the thing that bothers me is that, like, sort of this feeling that I've had inside of myself, which no one has told me, but this feeling of like, I just gotta shut up and take it. You know, I just kind of gotta grin and bear it. And I'm not built like that. So I really just wanted to come on, I think, and say thank you to the people who show up for me in the comments and the places that I'm not gonna put myself. And to the rest of y'all weird.
Yeah, so that is her responding. I mean, it showed the messages at the beginning too, right? To some of the stuff that was being said. And the thing that's crazy, and again, this is the thing people do, it's called, I think it's called gish galloping in debates, where what people do is they just throw a bunch of shit at you to like disguise what they're actually saying, which is fucked up. Where it's like, it started out like people were saying shit to her before the episodes even dropped. They're just like, you're a diversity cast, like you're just fucking all this other, and people even saying like the N-word and like all this crazy shit to her, which is just disgusting. And it's the craziest thing about it, dude, is that this is fucking, it's not the craziest thing about it. Okay, this is more of like me looking at it from a slightly comedic lens. It's fucking Star Wars. It's not weird for there to be 500 different aliens in one bar, but you can't handle a black chick that's fucking has a lightsaber? Like, what are you people, you know? And like I said, but right before I started this segment, I'm a huge fucking Star Wars fan, but it's like embarrassing. It really is embarrassing to, you know, have people doing shit like this on and saying like they're on behalf of like Star Wars fans. It makes Star Wars itself look like a disgusting franchise. First off, it's humanly disgusting and wrong. Secondly, it makes people that are fans of this franchise and of the series specifically or whatever, it makes you feel like dirty that you're associated with these other people that pretend to like the same thing as you. You know, it's crazy. And Disney did post a thing. They said there's like over 2 million something different species in the galaxy, and like, something about like, and if you're a racist, like you're not allowed. I don't know, something about it. It was a good clapback, and it's interesting because they apparently there was some issues with stuff with the sequel trilogy and like posters and maybe potentially shrinking people of color for the Chinese posters or versions of those posters, which kind of fucked up on Disney's part if that's true. I don't know. I didn't look into that, but I do know that they did the right thing by backing her on this one, and they even got Obi-Wan himself to speak on it, which we'll bring up here in a second. But right before we do, the other thing that's crazy too is these people, they're bringing in, and what I was getting to with the Gish galloping thing is that they're pretending that it's like the guise of like her character's not good, so I'm gonna be. They're using a criticism of saying her character's not good, and like throwing in and just shoveling in underneath like the racism that they wanted to really say, and it's really fucked up. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if her character's gonna be good or not. I'm not gonna spoil shit because I know we got people watching this show. They're gonna watch that show. I'm not gonna spoil anything about her character or anything going on. For me personally, there's some stuff where with the whole show where I'm like, I don't know where this is gonna go. But in what fuck? It's a 6-hour movie. These Disney Plus shows are 6-hour films that they just chop. They're just fucking 6 hours long of content, and they just chop it in like they just make it to 6 chapters. Okay, you would not halfway through a movie fucking step outside and be like, you know what? I don't know if I like that person's arc in the story yet. You don't know where it's going to go. You have no idea where she's going to end up or where the other characters are going to end up. We have no idea unless you work at fucking Lucasfilm, unless you worked on set and you know the fucking ending, or you were standing over the editor as he was finishing it. You don't know how this fucking movie's going to end, how this show's going to end, how her character or any other character's arc is going to end. So why the fuck are you making are you reviewing something you have no idea where the end is going to be? Or why are you critiquing a character that you have, again, no idea? I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, but you literally don't know. That would be literally starting the first Iron Man film and stopping right before, like, let's say you watch the first 10 minutes of that, you know, he's a douchebag right before the fucking bomb blows up. Spoiler alert. People who haven't seen the first Iron Man. I hope you've seen it. You know, and you fucking you're like, man, I don't really like him. Kind of a dick. Kind of just a smooth talking asshole. I don't really like him. What are you doing? This is how stories are told. If you don't like somebody, that's fine. If you don't like the character, that's fine. But if you're fucking using not liking the character to then justify the racist shit you want to say, that's disgusting. And if you have nothing to say about the character and you're just throwing out the racist shit, that's potentially even worse. I don't know. It's equally just as disgusting. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. I don't know. There's kind of my thoughts on it. And Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, backed her up. Maybe if the video wants to play, I don't know. It is what it is right now. We got some figuring out to do, you know. So I just feel like I ranted about that.
It seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning, and it just broke my heart. Moses is a brilliant actor. She's a brilliant woman, and she's absolutely amazing in this series. She brings so much to the series. She brings so much to the franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer on the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world. And I totally stand with Moses.
Look at your boy Obi-Wan. That's a crazy thing that, like, you guys had to, and I say you guys, I'm not talking to the people that aren't fucking the weirdos. I'm not talking to the real fucking Star Wars fans that actually fucking love the movies, love the films, love the TV shows, and love people. You know, I'm talking to the fucking weirdos that are fucking weirdo racists that say you like Star Wars, but and you love. I just again I don't know how you could love Star Wars and be belligerently racist when like the whole there's so many villains in the like novels of Star Wars and in like the lore of Star Wars that like are known speciesists and like they're never the good guy. Like I don't know, and like we can all understand that that's the bad guy when it's not like black and white, but the second you make it like real life, people can't do that. I found that weird too with like even some of the Marvel movies, like when when they bring up like different species and stuff like that, and there'll be somebody who's really fucked up, or like even in Captain Marvel with the one alien race is like having to they're just trying to find a home. They're basically like refugees, and we can all see that it's fucked up what this other alien race is doing to that alien race, but we can't see that when if we made a movie about that, like as real human beings, people will be like, oh, this is forced, whatever, this is blah blah blah. It's just weird. It's really weird. And yeah, so I think like to the people that are doing that, you literally made Obi-Wan Kenobi get in his fucking car and make a fucking video having to say how stupid you are. Like that Obi-Wan Kenobi is filming fucking apology style videos in his fucking car, having to back up his co-star because y'all are fucking weird. And like Moses said, y'all are fucking weird. And props to you, and props to Moses, props to everybody on that show. I think it's cool so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I have a lot of questions. I get nervous when shit that I like is coming out, especially with this series. I get nervous because of like weird hate, and it has nothing to do with racism for me, so I can't imagine how they feel. And especially like I can't imagine first how people who've worked on it feel, and I can't imagine how people of color that are having to deal with or see her deal with this. Like that's fucking disgusting. But yeah, that's the show. That's today's show for you guys. I appreciate you guys bearing with a couple of the technical difficulties. We kind of thank you for helping out and kind of writing it out with that stuff. Hopefully we'll have it. I feel like we took a step forward with the computer. We moved a step forward. It was a couple weeks. There was 5 or 6 weeks where we had no movement on that but now we've got it to a point where we're a couple steps away from fixing it completely. But I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in today live. Also, a big shout out to everybody who's going to watch days after or listen over on Spotify. Quick shout out as well to our patrons. If you guys are interested in getting behind the scenes access to music videos, extra footage of our hooping vlogs, a whole new series where I break down how I make every single one of my songs, as well as extra exclusive podcasts. You can go to patreon.com/DarrenRita, and you can help support the channel for as little as $1, and it really does help us out. So consider doing that. And you'll be shouted out at the end of the episode as well. I also want to say a quick shout out to Kenosha Auto Insurance for sponsoring this episode. This has been the 153rd episode, right? That was as in the title, I think. 153? Yeah, the 153rd episode of the dtalks podcast. I will see you guys next week.